Every story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV News Prime Time. I am Frank Omalape. In a major story, the People's Democratic Party challenges the All Progressive Congress on links with INEC Chairman Jega. Also in this program, All Progressive Congress APC refutes claims by the PDP of alleged oath taken between its vice presidential candidate Yemi Osinbajo and Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. The Nigerian troops in Yobe seized weapons of Boko Haram insurgents after fierce battle. Outside Nigeria, Western leaders demand transparent investigation on the murder of Russia's opposition politician Boris Nemtsov as Putin pledges justice. Joining us on CoreTV Primetime News tonight, the People's Democratic Party has challenged the All Progressive Congress to come out clear and explain to Nigerians the link between it and the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Watayu Jega, which informs and propels its interest in Jega's stay in the office. PDP National Publicity Secretary Lisa Metu made this call in a statement in Abuja, saying his party was more than curious that the APC has continued to fabricate stories and show undue interest in Jega, adding that such raise a lot of questions for the opposition and the INEC chairman. He claims the frenzy, hysteria and spate with which the APC has been inventing stories regarding Jega's stay in office, even when nothing suggests that such was on the table, raise a lot of issues. In his own words, Metu insists he wants the APC to come out clean and tell Nigerians the real reason behind their false alarms and uncontrolled nervousness regarding Jega ahead of the 2015 general elections. The All Progressive Congress says the sickening and outlandish claim by the Goodluck Jonathan campaign organization that the APC national leader Bola Tinubu plans to become vice president through the back door is designed to divert attention from the success of the party's presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari at the Carlton House in London on Thursday. In a statement in London by its National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed, the party said the PDP and the Jonathan administration do not have any answer to what the APC described as an epochal moment that has separated the wheat from the chaff. APC described the claim as the latest in a series of desperate moves by the PDP and the Jonathan administration since the emergence of Buhari as the APC presidential candidate, and the clearest indication yet that they have no answer to the unstoppable momentum of a man of history. APC said in as much as it has so far refrained from engaging Fani Kalde in what the party called his game of character assassination, abuses and irresponsible name-calling, the party is becoming seriously concerned that he may be caving in under pressure and reverting to his undignified abuse. People's Democratic Party insists that it stands by its claims that APC national leader Bola Tinubu plans to supplant Yemi Osinbajo and eventually Muhammadu Buhari if the party win the March 28 election. It argues that the reaction of the opposition party shows that it cannot be assertive in defending Tinubu against the allegation. PDP's campaign spokesman Femi Fani-Kaude said in a statement that rather than respond to a position, APC spokesman La Mohammed claimed that the issue was meant to divert attention from the success of the APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari appearance at the Katem House. He argued that the APC response showed that it has something to hide, while noting that the party leaders cannot deny his dangerous plot. The leadership of the Yoruba National Youth Council has condemned and described as unwarranted and undemocratic calls for sack of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Tayo Jega, by members of the Asari Dokubo-led Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force. The group, in a statement signed by its national president, Monday Oyege, stated that INEC is a public institution whose actions are conferred by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, stressing that it is undemocratic to call for the sack of its chairman. The statement claims it is the height of a fallacy to describe Jega as being pretentious and hypocritical owing to the number of yet-to-be collected permanent voter cards in the southern part of the country compared to some northern states. Meanwhile, the Northern Youth Council of Nigeria and the Ijaw Youth Council held a peace accord to back the second-term bid of the President Goodluck Jonathan. This was the outcome of a meeting held in Kaduna by the leadership of the two groups. They said, having supported President Jonathan during his first term, they are prepared to further support him in order to continue the work he began. The Ijaw group also used the opportunity to clear the air on alleged war threat if the president fails to win.
For a genuine unity and diversity in Nigeria, for he has said, the MC has said, the sine qua non is almost the same as a necessary ingredient, something that is compulsory if we must have genuine unity and diversity.
You can't pretend, and you cannot have a conducive. You cannot have an election in an environment that is not conducive. We had this experience over time. So to me, I think strongly, all of us must be seen to be committed to Nigeria beyond any individual. We must be seen to be committed beyond our party lines. Nigeria is greater than any political party, and we must be seen to say enough is enough of this unnecessary violence in our land.
And now the Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Michael Adidotun, has declared that over 300,000 indigenes of Egbaland residing in the state are yet to collect their permanent cards. He made this known while hosting the State Electoral Commissioner, Timothy Bitoye, who was on a courtesy visit at his palace. A correspondent, Olajumoke Olatuji, has more in this report.
With the recent statements of the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun addressed to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) over presence of alien PVCs in the state and constant demonstrations by human rights groups over the deficit in the distribution of the PVCs, the paramount ruler of Egbaland, Michael Adedotun Gbadebo, has also joined in the move to get more PVCs for indigenes of the state, with the declaration that over 300,000 indigenes of Egbaland residing in the state are yet to collect their cards, while appealing to INEC to look into the matter.
We are over 45% of Ogun State. That is a Black Traditional Council area in population. Whereas we don't have the number of local governments that we should have. Those who are about half of our population have more local government than we have. And that means there are more representation at the federal house than we have. Now, in Egbaland, our people are still almost 300,000 people still have no PVC. Please, I am sure the Ogun State Broadcasting Corporation can assist at no charge to you to keep on announcing names of those whose cards are here, who are not aware.
The Resident Electoral Commissioner Timothy Bitoye disclosed that 4 top officials of the commission in the state had been sent to the national headquarters in Abuja in respect of the remaining PVCs.
I want to appeal to His Royal Majesty
to please assist INEC in the forthcoming general elections. Unfortunately, Ogun State INEC is having challenges, especially again the issue of permanent voters cards. But it's not our homemaking at the state level. We are expecting the remaining balance of the PVC from the headquarters of INEC in Abuja. And I'm assuring the candidates that every eligible voter in Ogun State will get the PVC before election.
Despite the affirmation by the Commission to distribute all PVCs before election, some residents of Ogun State are, however, still doubtful that this will be done. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
As the controversy over the issue of card readers continue to linger, Imo State Director of the National Orientation Agency, Vitus Okocha, says the card readers should not be seen as an issue since it's been around for over a year now. Our correspondent Ajibade Awofeso has details.
The Imo National Orientation Agency boss, while reacting to the lingering controversy over the card readers, says it is nothing but a storm in a teacup.
Yeah, in the first place, I don't see why there should be a controversy over the issue of card reader. Because in the election guideline brought out by INEC, even before the rescheduling of the election, the issue of the card reader has been there. And since last year, INEC has been talking about the introduction of card reading machine. And I understand from the guidelines that the card reader is only going to be used for accreditation. The accreditation process has three areas. One is the card reader, the other one is the verification of the voters register, and then the inking of the voter. After that, they issue you with they call the accreditation tag. Then when the person is to be done, the accreditation is not going to be used. You will now come in with that accreditation tag, look at your name, that it has been accredited on the register, they tick it, issue you with ballot papers, you go and vote, and go away.
He also reacted this way to the issue of void vote during elections, while also educating people on how to vote to avoid wasting their votes as voided ones.
The voters, how to vote. For instance, look at the political parties and their symbols. Here, if you look at here, we demonstrated how to thumbprint. If you thumbprint inside the box, you have done it very well. But if you thumbprint and it is outside that box, it becomes void. Apart from that, we have told them that when they thumbprint, they shouldn't fold it horizontally like this, because once you fold it, the ink may go to the other parties, they say. But if you do it vertically like this, I mean, you have done the right thing. So we have been going from one town hall, from one village to the other, educating the people, enlightening them on how to vote and vote wisely, so that we can avoid the issue of void votes.
Other officials also spoke on the issue of card readers, while urging all Nigerians to embrace the issue of card readers.
I mean, people should not make unnecessary noise about the card reader. I think with the card reader, we will have a credible and fair election. Because going by the teachings of INEC and the National Orientation Agency, you can see that the card reader will help in giving us a free and fair election, because it's genuine. And it's very easy to operate.
No, it's not too easy for people to accept something new. It's just a new an innovation in what we have been doing earlier. So I think that is just a problem, but I believe it's going to work. We have faith in INEC that it's going to work well.
Well, I support it, because one day starts a 10. If we are developing, we are going to develop from stage to stage. By this time, the card reader, we have been assured that to minimize rigging. And I believe in that, and I want to support it totally. for us to minimize rigging. The issue of rigging is not a fair situation in democracy.
They say the agency will continue to do more to educate people on how to vote and ensure a violence-free elections in the states. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
The police authorities said a number of suspects are in custody for their roles in disrupting the governorship rally of All Progressive Congress in Okrika River State. Speaking exclusively to CoreTV News in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer Emmanuel Ojukwu says despite the arrest, investigation is still ongoing into the shooting incident that left at least one policeman dead. He also called on the politicians to play the game by the rules while assuring the public of the police readiness to deal with anyone involved in an act capable of disrupting the peace of the country.
Sometimes when a matter happens, another one comes subsequently and we forget the former ones. Police investigations are thorough and they must be detailed. They are not things you do overnight. They are not quick fixes. If you want to investigate a case that involves life or use of firearms, some of these are very serious offenses, some are capital offenses. You must be detailed. It takes time. And so investigation, being a laborious exercise, has to be allowed to run its full course. Don't just hurry, oh, in one day you've completed the investigation. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. So investigation into those cases you've just mentioned are ongoing. Maybe a number of them may have been concluded and the suspects charged to court. But if you do a follow-up, you may find them in court. I can tell you we are not sleeping on any of such matters.
The military authority says Nigerian troops have continued to win more battles against the Boko Haram insurgents. More details after the short break.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. If you just join us, here is a quick reminder of our top stories tonight. The People's Democratic Party challenges the All Progressive Congress on links with INEC Chairman Atari Jega. And also, the All Progressive Congress refutes claim by the PDP of alleged oath-taking between its vice presidential candidate Yemi Osinbajo and Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. The Nigerian troops in Yobe seized weapons of Boko Haram insurgents after fierce battle. For more information and other stories, you can also reach us on our social media platform, like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow at CoreTV News NG. And for live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. And now the Nigerian military says troops are cordoned in search operation along Jimetilo Damaturu Road on Friday night seized a number of machine guns and rifles from terrorists after a fierce battle that lasted several hours. It added that the firefight to dislodge the terrorists resulted in the death of some of them. Defense spokesman Major General Chris Olukolade said in a statement that several of the insurgents died in a fire that gutted the house they had made their base. A soldier was, however, killed in battle while another was wounded and is undergoing treatment. Similarly, soldiers in pursuit of Boko Haram members in Golak, Adamawa State, were said to have had a shootout with insurgents who were in the process of laying up a bridge to deter troops' advancement. The military authorities say Nigerian soldiers are continuing their cordon and search operation of the town and its environs after overpowering the terrorists. The Committee for the Defense of Human Rights has pledged a no-light, no-pay protest to electricity providers in Lagos. The group made its disclosure in a meeting with the management of the Keja Electricity Distribution Company in Alausa after a protest march on the poor electricity supplied in Lagos. The group says the continued exploitation of Nigerians by the successor companies to the PHC and Mustap. Leader of the group in Lagos, Bona Isiak, says the privatization of the defunct PHCN has only worsened the power supply situation in Lagos and elsewhere.
And promises of improvement, but reverse is the system and services as of present moment in the country, transforming from bad to worse, discharging poorest, erratic and epileptic services to the poor masses and the country as a whole. We therefore demand on behalf of the poor masses grossly affected by the wicked acts of these companies as follows. We demand as follows: immediate reversal and removal of fixed charges. We demand accurate and correct billings of consumers' consumption. We demand commencement of equitable distribution of prepaid meters, which many Nigerians have registered and paid for.
The reduction in the pump price of fuel as announced by the federal government has been creating ripples among oil marketers, especially independent marketers all over the Federation. In Imo State, the situation is not different. While some have complied with the announcement, others have not, with many citing the disparity in the new price and that of lifting from the depot, a major sticking point. CoreTV News Ajibadia will first present more on the situation from Imo State.
In Owerri, the capital of Imo State, marketers says they cannot sell at 87 naira while purchasing at a higher price from the depots too, with most selling at over 100 naira. In his response, the state director of the Department of Petroleum Resources, the marketers are playing the ostrich.
I want to say that that's a gross misrepresentation of the fact. The DPR cannot and has not changed the approved pump price for petrol premium motor spirit. At the meeting that was held at Government House, I made it clear that my mandate is to ensure that this product is dispensed at 87 naira per litre, and I stand at that. There is no change. Anybody who tells you that it's been resolved that they can sell at any price they like, they are lying.
The DPR boss, however, says the agency will continue to do its job to ensure that all other filling stations aside the NNPC also sell at the correct price. However, in Imo State, only NNPC Megas filling stations are selling at the federal government's price.
We are getting feelers that some stations are defaulting. And of course, we have gone out, we have sent out our monitoring team to go around and check what is going on and to take necessary action to apprehend culprits. This list I have here, it's a dynamic list that we are constantly updated. If you look inside here, you will see a whole lot of stations that we have apprehended, and you can see this column. This is the penalty that these are the penalties that they are paying.
Some of the marketers who spoke off camera, however, say the stance of the federal government is unfair to them as business outfit. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
The celebration of Valentine is meant to be an expression of love and affection, but it was a gory day for the family of Abimbola Ogidiolu, who was set ablaze by his wife over the day's celebration. Bimbo now lies in critical condition at the General Hospital at Ado-Ekiti as the police vowed justice against the suspects. A correspondent, Rashid, went into the incidents and filing this report.
The scenario surrounding the story of Abimbola Ogidiolu is that of love gone sour, and making it more peculiar is that the tragic incident happened on days supposedly used in celebrating love and loved ones. But to Bimbo Ogidiolu, the best way to celebrate him on the 14th of February is to set him ablaze by his wife, as confirmed by the Ekiti State Police Command.
We received a complaint of a woman who poured petrol on her husband and set him ablaze during the Valentine period. So the police swung into action. Our detectives went there, arrested the woman, and they rushed the husband to the hospital. I understand he has first-degree burns on his body. So the woman is still in our custody. We're trying to unravel the mystery behind our action. So the investigation is ongoing. And as soon as the investigation is completed, she will be charged to court.
To Folake Ogidiolu, the traumatized mother of Bimbo, reliving the gory incident and how that has changed the course of her life was not an easy narration when CoreTV News visited his hospital bed.
His wife poured petrol on him on Valentine's Day, accusing her husband for not allowing her to go out. She threatened setting Bimbo ablaze, but the threat was dismissed by him. Until she poured the petrol meant for their generator on him, and before the husband would dash out, she has already set him ablaze.
The survival of Bimbo, suffering from first-degree burns, still hang in the balance. The family, as they seek for justice, never close their eyes on help over the piling medical expenses of Bimbo, which they could not afford any longer. But to the police, justice, they say, will be dispensed accordingly.
We're going to charge her for attempted murder. The law is there. The long arm of the law always catch up with them.
I plead for help from the government so as not to lose Bimbo, because we've been financially exhausted and the hospital bill is piling up every day.
As Bimbo Ogidiolu lies critically ill and the estranged wife suspect goes at police cell, it is expected that the laws of the land will take its course, as Bimbo also faces the battle for his survival. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break now. We'll be back with business, sport, and other stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Tonight, yields on Nigerian debt are seen trending up next week over political uncertainty after the 6-week postponement of the February elections. Yields on the 2016 debt closed at 16.42, down from 16.85%. The other paper traded at 16.02 That's 1% against 16.20%. The benchmark 2020-40 debt note closed at 16.04 compared with 16% last week. Now, the Naira is expected to trade within 198 to 202 Naira to a dollar, supported by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Recalling, the Central Bank of Nigeria last week scrapped its bi-weekly currency auctions and directed all demand for dollars to be channeled through the interbank market. It said it will sell dollars only at 198 Naira to customers through the interbank. The parallel market, Naira traded for 230 Naira to a dollar. We'll take another break now. We'll be back shortly with stories in sport. Be back.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
In sports now, Glow Nigeria Professional Football League defending championship Kano Pillars have booked a place to the first round of the CAF Champions League after completing a double against their South Sudanese side at Malakia. Kano Pillars defeated South Sudanese club 3-0 in its second leg preliminary round of the 2015 CAF Champions League at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. A brace from Nigerian international Gambo Mohamed and Ezekiel Mbagwell, all the hosts who completely dominated the visitors needed to qualify for the next round of the tournament on a 5-0 aggregate. The Nigerian champions have already won the first leg 2 weeks ago in Southern South by 2-0. And Dolphins have qualified for the first round of the CAF Confederation Cup after beating Leon's Vegetarianos 5-3 on penalties after scores stood at 1-1 on aggregate at regulation time. Emeka Atuloma gave the Nigerians a first-half lead in the tension-soaked encounter, but were able to add the second as the game dragged into penalty shootouts. During the kicks, goalkeeper Sunday Rotimi's experience proved valuable as a saved guy Yanasi's spot kick after Tijani Adamu and Emeka Atuloma had converted theirs. Atuloma gave the Pride of Rivers the lead in the 26th minute, but missed several goal-scoring chances with Christian Payagraba in the major culprit. With its victory, Dolphins will face Tunisian outfit Club African in the first round of the competition. The 2011 champions will host the first leg hold between March 13 to 15 in Tunisia, while the return leg will hold in Nigeria 2 weeks later. Away from that now, Nigeria's representatives in the CAF Confederation Cup Warri Wolves have zoomed to the next round of the CAF Confederation Cup, thrashing Racing Club, the Bobo Dio Lasso 3-0 at the Warri City Stadium to sail through 4-0 on aggregate on Saturday. They won the first leg 1-0 2 weeks ago in Burkina Faso. Seasider led at halftime 1-0 with the only goal converted by under-23 international striker Ogene Karo or Etebo in the 31st minute before they added two more in the second half through Joseph Osadaye and Freedom Omofaman in the 62 and 71st minute in a goal-laden match to confirm their intention of going as far as possible in the second tier African club competition as they cruise to the next round on a 4-0 goals aggregate. The joint Dolphins will start off Leon Vegetarianos of Equatorial Guinea on penalties, and Kano Pillars will progress to the next round in the CAF Champions League at the expense of Al-Malakia of South Sudan. And outside Nigeria now, Western leaders have called on Russian authorities to get to the truth behind the killing of opposition politician Boris Nemtsov. U.S. President Barack Obama urged a transparent investigation, while German Chancellor Angela Merkel said the killing must be explained and perpetrators brought to justice. Nemtsov was shot 4 times in the back on a bridge near the Kremlin, with President Putin quickly condemning the killing and has only taken personal control of the investigation. The Russian Investigative Committee head Vladimir Makin said in a statement that several motives for the killing were being considered, including Islamic extremism and the victims' alleged links with Ukraine. It added that the attack was meticulously planned and the killers who fled in a car had been tracking Nemtsov's movement around the city. Boris Nemtsov died hours after appealing for support for a march on Sunday in Moscow against the war in Ukraine. A former head of the Foreign Intelligence Service in Britain, M16 John Sawyer, says Russia has become a danger to Britain and the country must be prepared to take steps to defend itself and its allies. John Sawyer, who recently retired after 5 years as chief of the Secret Intelligence Service, told BBC Radio 4's Today program that Russia poses a state-to-state threat. John said dealing with such threat would require more defense spending, but the call on issues with Russia to be addressed by increased dialogue. He said he was disappointed how, after the end of the Cold War, Russia's and Europe's path had failed to converge. Russia's threat was not necessarily directed to the UK, but to countries around its periphery. His comments came after a year of fighting in eastern Ukraine between government forces and pro-Russian separatists. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. Just before we go, here is a recap of our top stories tonight. We told you that the People's Democratic Party challenges the All Progressive Congress on links with INEC Chairman Atai Rujega. We also told you that the All Progressive Congress refutes claims by the PDP of alleged oath taken between its vice presidential candidate Yemi Osinbajo and Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. And finally, Nigerian troops in Yobe seize weapons of Boko Haram insurgents after fierce battle. Well, and that's been a show tonight on CoreTV Primetime News. Many thanks for watching. On behalf of our news crew, I am Frank Omalape. Have a splendid night rest.